Hello, all YouTubers. I'm the Weather Dude, and this is tracking dangerous Hurricane Laura. And as a thank you for 1,000 subscribers, we're doing a 1,000 subscriber special today, tracking Hurricane Laura. Also, it's a live Q&A, so you can ask me and Jonesrmj questions, which is here with me today.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Jonesrmj here. I'm sure you guys probably know me by now because you see me in the little collabs that we do together, but the Weather Dude was kind enough to invite me to his little collab that he'll be doing for his 1,000 subscriber special, so he's actually going to date to teach me how he makes his weather videos, so this will be pretty fun. I'm probably going to screw up very miserably, but we will see. And also, if you guys would like to subscribe to me, you can too.
Please do.
The Weather Dude will probably have my link in the description or somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or just look up Jonesrmj. It's pretty easy to find. But anyway, back to you, the Weather Dude.
This is Jonesrmj's first time doing weather, in fact, so he knows how to read. I've been showing him the maps, and he's actually been understanding. So hopefully, he'll do a good job, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And again, Q&A. So ask us questions, just like a weather discussion. Ask us weather questions. This is kind of like a thank you on 1,000 subscribers, and we have 2 people already in the live chat. Kate Christopher, hello to you too, and Harrison Mitchell, thank you, thank you for congratulating. Right. So
and don't forget to ask us questions, guys, as we go along. So
yes, this is a Q&A after all. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So let's go to the first map here. So again, welcome, and this is the radar, and you can see that Hurricane Laura. You can kind of see the eye of the storm. And actually, let me pull up my drawing tool real quick because I don't believe I pulled that up yet. So let me just pull it up. Give me 1 second. And you can see Hurricane Laura on the radar has a well-defined eye right now. All right, let me get the drawing tool. All right, we're good. All right. So here's Hurricane Laura. As you can see, Jonesrmj, you see the eye in the middle right here? You see the
I
eye?
do it.
So when you see all the way down to the ocean like that, that's how you know that this storm is very well organized. I mean, it's a Category 4 after all, right?
Yep.
And before we there's actually some tornado warnings, and Jonesrmj and I will actually be reading them. But before we do, we want to take a look at the storm itself before we get to the outer bands, which are, matter of factly, already impacting Texas and Louisiana. So we wanted to bring you the latest live weather coverage here. So as you can see, we have the northern eyewall right here, which is looking very impressive here. I mean, basically, like the heaviest rain usually it's like on the northern and the eastern side, but we have heavy rain surrounding almost the entire eye. So this storm is really getting itself together here, and it looks very dynamic. All right, and you can see there's more bands on the northern eyewall as well here. All right, so Jonesrmj, you wanna take it away here? So as you can see, the red boxes here, these are tornado watches, and then these are the tornado warnings in here. All right. Remember, be patient. This is Jonesrmj's first time doing it. So if you want to read some of this.
So yeah, as you can see, there's obviously a tornado watch in the Baton Rouge area in New Orleans. Well, New Orleans and Baton Rouge in Louisiana. Obviously issued today on the August 26th of 2020 and issued at 2:41 p.m. of Central Time. So as you can see, if this includes the cities of Addis, Baton Rouge, or I don't know how.
Baton Rouge, yeah.
Baton Rouge. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Baton Rouge. Why? I'm so stupid.
Why'd you say Baton Rouge?
I don't even know. I'm stupid. I'm sorry, guys. Forgive me, please. But you got Bayou Sorel. You got like a bunch of cities in there, but obviously like New Orleans, Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
basically the entire coast of Louisiana,
Yeah.
just to make it easier. And there's also some tornado watches. It looks like.
Yeah,
too.
tornado warnings as well. So this is for southeastern Rapes Parish, and we got Evangeline Parish, Avoyelles Parish, and St. Landry Parish in central Louisiana, all under a tornado warning.
Yep, and at 3:11 p.m., it says a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Whiteville near Morrow, moving northwest at 40 miles an hour. So of course there's a tornado hazard.
Yeah, this
going
is a
on.
hazard, and this is radar indicated, so it's not really confirmed yet. But it by the radar, by the way it looks on the radar, that means that we are seeing some tornadoes now. So in case some of you are just now joining, the tornado warning we're going over right now is south of Marksville, including Bunkie in central Louisiana. We're gonna get to some National Hurricane Center maps, but let's take a look at one tornado warning first, one more, before we get on to with our other maps here. So this is a tornado warning here for at 3:15 p.m. Central Time, so 4:15 Eastern. This is Central Ascension and Central Livingston and South Central East Baton Rouge parishes. So this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 8 miles north of Gonzales and moving at 40 miles an hour as well. So all these storms are moving at a very similar speed.
Yep, and okay, so here's the what the one dude was actually telling me about. This is a map from NOAA, or
Yeah,
National Oceanic.
National Hurricane Center, yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see right there, you've got the little M's, the H's, the S, and the D's, and basically the H stands for hurricane, the S stands for storm, the M stands for like major, and D is depression. So as you can see, obviously as the hurricane goes over the land, it's obviously going to weaken into a storm and a depression, and like so on and so forth as it passes and moves more further north. But as you can see, it looks like there is going to be a major hurricane going into the Louisiana coast. So people down there better seek shelter if you're still down there. If you obviously can evacuate. But traffic's pretty bad. So, then yeah, and the weather dude, you actually know what time the hurricane's predicted to make landfall,
yes.
right?
Actually, now it's actually between 2 and 4 a.m. So the further in time this moves, the later it makes landfall, the stronger the storm is going to be because it's sitting in a very good environment for developing. We have winds of 140 miles an hour, moving northwest at 16. And what Jonesrmj said, you are right, hurricanes do weaken over land, but actually, this storm could reemerge off of the Delaware and Maryland coastline and potentially become a tropical storm once again. So and then move up to Halifax.
Yep, move up to Halifax. Yep, Halifax, the Nova Scotia coast, and up to the Halifax Island. Yep.
So as you can see from Galveston through just south of Lake Charles, we have hurricane warnings. And Harrison Mitchell says, he says you have a question. What time do you think Cat 5 will come? If it does, what time? I don't believe this will be a Cat 5. High tide is actually going to be coming overnight. I was actually listening to the Louisiana governor, and he was saying that overnight is actually we can see the highest tide. So I don't think that helps him out any, especially since especially since we're going to see 15 to 20 feet of storm surge. All right, so that is definitely not good news here.
Oh, and by the way, this doesn't just have to be weather questions. It can be any questions. This is like an overall Q&A. Obviously, nothing inappropriate, but this is a Q&A. So as you can see, the one dude is looking up
Yeah, just looking up some of the other tide cycles. All right, so it looks like Galveston Pier 21. All right, looks like the high tide for you guys is actually actually we had one at 1:36 in the morning. Low tide is at 6 o'clock. So actually, luckily for you guys, high tide is going to become, or low tide will be coming soon. But a few hours after that, we will see our next high tide cycle. So that's not good for you in Galveston.
And then as you can see, here's the tropical storm force wind speed possibilities. We got the little map right here. Obviously, this is a pretty easy map to read. You got the scale at the bottom. Obviously, the green is like pretty low winds, only like 5-10 miles now. But obviously, if it's purple, that's when the percent of winds grow exponentially. So as you can see, obviously, mainly southwestern Louisiana and southeastern Texas are basically the most at risk, in the 90 to 100% range. And as far north as northern Arkansas, so like Fayetteville, maybe up in that area, could see 5 to 10% chance of winds, and of course the eastern coast of Virginia, North Carolina, so like Virginia Beach, the northern Outer Banks, Ocean City, Maryland, and the Delaware beaches could see some wind speeds there as well, and wind speeds in the oceans ranging all the way up from Halifax, Canada. So
well, that'll be another video. Hopefully, we'll be talking about if the storm does happen to re-strengthen. That's why the East Coast does have up to a 10% chance to see tropical storm force winds. But what we're focusing on for today is we're focusing on the Category 4 part of Laura that is hitting Texas and Louisiana. We're bringing the latest updates here with Laura. So taking a look at the storm surge here, anywhere from the Johnson Bayou through Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge, including, I was trying to say this on my last video, I can't really say, Calshue Lake, 15 to 20 feet of storm surge. So basically, think about this. 15 to 20 feet of ocean water will be coming on shore on normally dry ground. So when you hear that, Jonesrmj, how does that make you feel? 15 to 20 feet of water.
That's pretty big. That's about probably the size. That's about probably the height of maybe an average, like maybe that's definitely higher than like a 1-story building. That's probably about the height of a 2-story house.
Yep, Jonesrmj knows his geography.
Well, no, my architecture.
Oh, sorry, that's my architecture.
I mean, I know geography too, but
yeah,
it's just we're talking about like heights here. So.
Yeah, so 15 to 20 feet, and just to put that in perspective, I believe a normal Category 5 would have 18 to 20 feet of surge. So this is really remarkable. This has a lot of surge. That's because it's taking a little longer to come in than it should. The good thing is, unlike Harvey, this won't be stalling at the coast. But we're still going to be seeing a lot of winds. And winds, even though sustained winds at landfall are predicted to be 145 miles an hour, okay, winds will be gusting 175 potentially, which is well into a Category 5 hurricane. So definitely, and Katrina was 28 feet of surge. So just to put that in perspective there.
Yeah, so that's quite a bit of, so that's almost kind of on the same level as Katrina. So, okay, so now here you are. This is the rainfall map, actually. So once again, as you can see to the right, we have the little scale right there with the little inches right here. As you see, the weather dude is circling it. And basically, once again, like the kind of lighter greener colors, and white basically means like nothing. And then obviously dark purple means severe. But as you can see, thankfully, at the absolute most, it looks like we could be seeing 10 to 15 inches of rain right off the kind of the coast where the Louisiana and Texas borders are. But most of Louisiana and most of the western Louisiana coast and eastern Texas will be seeing anywhere 6 to 10 inches, and some parts of Arkansas also will be as well. And then other areas of the coast will be seeing 4 to 6 inches, and 2 to 4 and 1 to 2 depending on how far.
Right.
Even as far as western Florida could be seeing some rain as well. And then if we once again move up to where this hurricane path is, as it goes back up towards the east coast, there's also a 2 to 4% chance of rain in the little Virginia Peninsula part that attaches to the bottom of Maryland. So basically, Ocean City, Maryland, down to Virginia Beach could see up to 2 to 4 inches of rain later on as the storm dissipates over and comes back over the Atlantic, and also Charleston, West Virginia, and most of central West Virginia. It looks like a decent chance of some rain there too. So storm is definitely going to be spreading some rain, kind of in a weird path. It's going to be going overland, and then passing back over the ocean. So
Great job, Jonesrmj. And when you talk, you attract more viewers. So please share this video with your friends, guys, if you haven't already. Thank you so much. And yes, actually, what Jonesrmj said was 100% correct. 2 to 4 inches of rain off the Delmarva coast. Obviously, if that does regain tropical storm status, but rainfall totals could be getting into the double digits, which is very dangerous here. And Jonesrmj, if you want to read some of the key messages.
So as you can see, so the first key message is unsurvivable storm surge with large and destructive waves, which will cause catastrophic damage from Searim State Park in Texas to Intracoastal City in Louisiana, including I can't pronounce that. You kind of pronounced it right.
Where?
That word right, the CAL.
Calcio. Yeah.
Calcio and Sabine Lakes. I think that's how you pronounce them. We're sorry, guys, if we're mispronouncing these completely. We're doing our best. This surge could penetrate up to 30 miles inland from the immediate coastline, which is quite a bit of distance. For instance, 30 miles is probably about the distance from, for like a East Coast standpoint, it's probably about the distance from, that's actually about the total width of the widest point of Delaware, which is pretty funny, or about almost any direction of Rhode Island, or from about the distance from Philadelphia to Trenton, I think, something along those lines.
Putting it in perspective for you.
And maybe for a West Coast comparison, probably about the distance from maybe from like the absolute probably the distance from like Los Angeles to like Long Beach, or maybe something like that. Maybe a little bit more than that, but.
So Jonesrmj giving you some great perspectives here. So the surge could be 30 miles inland, and actually, let me pull up real quick. I'll actually pull up Google Earth for you guys just to show you why. All right, because I mean the surge. I mean it won't be going. It will be going 30 miles inland, but it's gonna be doing it through the rivers and inlets, and I'll actually be showing it to you guys. But before I do, Robert Stewart commented. He said this is bad. He's surrounded by fires in Northern California, and he's sending prayers to those who be impacted by Hurricane Laura. Thank you very much, Robert, and we hope you're doing okay in California as well, because the fire situation is bad.
And one of the funny things is actually Google. Like speaking of wildlife files, Google Maps just actually recently added a feature where it shows the areas of that could see damage during wildfires. So I highly recommend you go onto Google Maps. You can access it from the web or on an app on your phone, and you can kind of see the predicted areas of where the wildfire could reach. So as long as your house is not in those areas, you most likely will be fine. But always better to be safe than sorry. And of course, be prepared to evacuate in the event that your house could be targeted by the wildfires. So, best of luck, and hopefully stay safe out there.
So if you guys saw when I first pulled up Google Earth, you can actually see you can see Hurricane Laura on the visible satellite, which hopefully we'll be able to show to you guys later. But you can see that some of the ponds and the other bodies of water, like the marshes here, that can easily flood. This is actually Louisiana. This is Pekin. This is where Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge I was telling you guys about. So there is definitely a lot of inlets, and that can definitely cause a lot of problems, especially if the water can flow through them. So let's actually zoom in a little bit closer. All right, and you can see them right here. So right here you can see like how the water can potentially flow in here through some of the bays. And then you can see like where the river kind of mouths off here. So these are the river inlets that go all the way in here, and kind of like the way Charleston, South Carolina is set up almost. So that's why we have like a big flooding problem here. And let's take a look at Hurricane Laura on satellite here.
Okay, so as you can see here, currently some live footage of Hurricane Laura, and and as you can see, it is starting to approach the Louisiana coast. As the weather dude said earlier in the stream, it's predicted to make landfall. You said around 3 a.m.
Yeah,
tonight?
2 to 4. It could move around though. It's been delayed a little bit.
So as you can see, basically, probably the coast. It looks like it might already be starting to get some rain or something.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he's right, because some of the outer bands, even the outer bands are already starting to move to Louisiana. I mean, even the northern edge of the eye wall is getting pretty close to shore, and you could just see when the frame first starts. In the first couple of frames, the eye's a little dysfunctional, but in the end, there you can just see how the eye becomes well defined. And Harrison Mitchell says, sadly, this will do catastrophic damage. This is sad, and this storm will do much damage for a 3. Yes. Yes. For a cat,
Yep,
well,
that
it is
seems.
a category 4 now.
But do you think it'll stay Category 4 when it makes landfall? Or do you think it'll degrade before it makes
Most
landfall?
likely. The only thing is that the only good thing about this is once it makes landfall, there actually is a little bit of shear coming from the west, so that may actually help to take it apart once it makes landfall. But this storm has the potential to strengthen up until landfall. And to some of you that are just now joining, this is my 1,000 subscriber special. Thank you guys so much. I'm actually doing Hurricane Laura live coverage with Jonesrmj, and he's trying this out for the first time. So please be patient. Show Jonesrmj some support.
And if you guys want to subscribe to me, just scroll up a little bit in the live chat. The Weather Dude posted a link to my channel if you want to subscribe to me. My channel is currently on the way to 300 subscribers, so I'd appreciate it if you would help me get there.
So this is the cyclonic vorticity signature, and basically, let me actually zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. And you can see this is where the hurricane is, all right, and this is where we have the most cyclonic energy. You can see it's really getting its act together, where the reds and the whites are, and this storm will be moving onshore, but maybe a frontal system could come in and potentially try and sweep this storm to the east. That's why we'll be tracking through the mid-Atlantic.
And Robert Stewart says, look at those echo tops.
All right, so here's another rainfall map if you want to take it away, Jonesrmj.
Yeah, so we actually already looked at a rainfall map a little bit earlier, but as you can see, this is kind of a little bit more of a zoomed in on mainly the southeastern United States as well as like Texas and Oklahoma and stuff. And yeah, as you can see, Lake Charles, it looks like that's almost the exact center of where reaching 8 inches of rainfall. So quite a bit of rainfall there. And as far north as maybe areas of areas east of Shreveport, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Shreveport. Yeah, you got it right.
Shreveport, something like that. Louisiana could be seeing 5 to 8 inches of rain. Little Rock could also be seeing 5 to 8 inches of rain in areas west of it. And basically, Houston could see 1 to 2 inches of rain, or zero
up to an inch. Yeah.
Up to an inch of rain. My bad.
Yeah.
And New Orleans could see 1 to 2 inches of rain, and even areas as far east as like Alabama, parts of Georgia, even South Carolina, North Carolina, and even as you move up the east coast to like Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, probably even parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and maybe as far as north as New York. I'm not sure, but
well, that's probably not related to Laura, however.
But anyway, those places could even see a little bit of rainfall as the storm dissipates over the mainland.
Yep. So good thing is that it looks like Houston did avoid most of the rainfall. You can still see some very gusty winds, but Houston, according to the Weather Channel, looks like about maybe an inch, maybe a little bit over an inch. But Jonesrmj was right. Lake Charles, 8 inches. That's minimum, though. 8 to 12 inches in that red shading. And as far north as Little Rock, again, on the Weather Channel graphic, it looks like 5 to 8 inches of rain is possible as Laura makes its way north. Here's like a current radar, kind of like another current radar picture from the Weather Channel. And hopefully soon, maybe right after this map, we'll be revisiting some of the tornado warnings and reading them out to you guys. As you can see here in southeastern Louisiana, we also actually have one in Texas, northeast of Galveston, which the winds are pretty light right now for Galveston, Lake Charles, 10 to 12 miles an hour. But you can see around Huma, gusts are 30 miles an hour right now. And let me just warn you guys right now, this is just the start. Okay, maximum winds will be going past 110, 130 miles an hour as the storm makes its way onshore.
Okay, so here we are. Here once again, this is a map showing what areas of the country could have hurricane warnings. And as you can see, pretty much most of the counties in the I don't know all these counties' names because like there's like so many counties in all these states compared to our state of Delaware, which only has 3 counties, so it's pretty easy to remember. But as you can see, basically most counties in western Louisiana and eastern Texas have a hurricane warning. As you can see, cities like Port Arthur, Galveston, even as far north as Alexandria and Lufkin have a hurricane warning as well. And then if you go a little bit further north and a little bit further east and west, Houston has a tropical storm warning, so does Lafayette, and I think New Orleans might as well. Shreveport has one as well, and Texarkana, something like that. And even Tyler, Texas has them as well. And then a few counties in south central Arkansas have a tropical storm watch right now. So this is live as of 2 p.m. Central Time.
And we have a new comment, looks like from D, and he says, "What time is high tide?" So actually, luckily for you, I actually just looked. Galveston Bay on the Galveston Pier looks like 6 p.m. is the low tide. So potentially we're talking about 11 p.m. to midnight, which is very, very bad because that's when the storm will be making its way closer to the coast and making landfall potentially right around high tide. Here's a National Weather Service right here. And I wanted to zoom in on a certain region here. All right. Potential storm surge flooding, again, well above 9 feet. but that's just the maximum of what this graph says. Obviously, we know storm surge will be getting closer to 20 feet, as you can see by this map right here. Again, anywhere from Johnson Bayou all the way through Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge, 15 to 20 feet of storm surge potentially. All right, and let's actually scroll down to tropical weather, so I can actually give you guys a better description. Hopefully, this will load fine. And it looks like D says thank you. Okay, no problem. All right. So here's the potential storm surge flooding map, more than 9 feet above ground. And keep in mind, good news is some places do have levees. So especially since Katrina and everything. All right. So here, let's go to threats and impacts. Okay. As you can see, here's the wind potential. Okay, and I do love looking at this map. Good thing it did load. All right. Anywhere from Beaumont through Lake Charles. Okay, which actually Beaumont was affected by Hurricane Harvey in 2017. So Jonesrmj, if you would like to take it away.
So as you can see, if you actually scroll down a little bit so we can see the little wind threat graph. So as you can see, basically everywhere in purple has potential for wind greater than 110 miles an hour. The red areas have potential for wind of 74 to 110 miles an hour. And then the orange areas have potential for wind from 58 to 73 miles an hour. Yellow is 39 to 57. And then gray areas less than 39. So as you can see, obviously, once again, pretty much with the burn of the storm, it's going to hit Louisiana and let's hit western Louisiana and eastern Texas. Obviously, a lot of those areas are going to have potential for wind greater than 110 miles an hour. And then as the storm moves north and weakens, the wind will most likely not be as bad. And as you can see, you can see the little blue outlines that kind of show where the path where the rumored path of the hurricane is supposed to take. And as you can see, the further inland it goes, the less potential wind there is.
Right. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please share the stream with your friends and subscribe if you have not already. And Harrison Mitchell says he has a question. What are the highest winds? So as I said earlier, this will most likely make landfall with 145 mile per hour winds. Winds will be gusting up to 170, even 175 miles an hour at times. Me personally, I think wind gusts will get past 160, which is Category 5. But again, in order for it to be Category 5, sustained winds need to be 160, not wind gusts. And as you can see, here's the thing about Laura, though. Anywhere in this yellow shading, either yellow, orange, as long as you're shading any kind of color on the map, as you can see here, yellow means tropical storm force winds. These extend all the way to the northern suburbs of Little Rock, Arkansas. So because the storm is moving very fast, or moving faster than it should be when it moves inland, that gives it less time for the storm to weaken. All right. So the wind threat will be well far inland, and even a place like Shreveport, Louisiana, could be seeing hurricane force winds potentially with this. So that's why this is a very dangerous storm. And just look how far inland the winds greater than 110 miles an hour could go. We could be seeing these well far to the north here. All right. And if we actually do click on this, all right, you can see through greater than 110. Now, trust me, winds will be greater than 110 miles an hour. That's just what the maximum of this graph goes up to. Trust me, there'll be more than that. And Jonesrmj, if you want to read maybe the description here.
Yeah, so as you can see, basically just to put in perspective what 110 mile an hour winds can do, basically structural damage to even some sturdy buildings with complete roof and wall failures. So structures that may not be built up to code, or weaker structures or older structures that may not have the modern engineering, could see some destruction or some wall failures and stuff like that. And mobile homes could be completely destroyed depending on how well they're anchored to the ground and what kind of protection they have going on. So make sure to be as careful as possible. Damage can greatly accentuated by large airborne projectiles. So that's definitely something to keep in mind because of the strong winds. And locations may be uninhabitable for even weeks or even more importantly, months. So that is definitely quite a bit of time. So if you live in any of these areas and have this potential warning, it's definitely recommended to evacuate. And just note that maybe you might have to see if you have like family or something in a safer part of the country, because you might not be able to return for weeks or even months to survey the damage and stuff. It all just depends on how the damage is. So hopefully stay safe out there, guys. This is definitely going to be this definitely could see some decent structural damage across the Louisiana, Texas, and other parts.
Yep. Hurricane Maria, matter of fact, that hit Puerto Rico, they're still recovering after a couple of years. So just think about that. And that was a Category 5 as it moved through Puerto Rico, Category 4 and Category 5. All right. And looks like Harrison Mitchell says, do you think the storm surge could go up a little more, 20-foot maximum? Storm surge, especially the later the storm makes landfall, in my opinion, the later the storm makes landfall, the higher the surge could be, because this gives the storm more time to strengthen in wind speed. And we know that higher wind speed can result in higher surge values. So I think surge. I think 20 foot is a good estimate, but I think in isolated spots it could always be higher than that, and we're already starting to see surge flooding right now. Right. Um, let's take a look at the track here for Hurricane Laura. So again, moving through again 145 miles an hour, but it could even make 150 at landfall. All right, and who knows? This could be a high end Category 4. Remember Hurricane Michael that made landfall in Florida in 2018? Okay, that had 155-mile-an-hour winds, but it turned out to be upgraded to 160-mile-per-hour winds, and that made it a Cat 5. And Robert Stewart says, "Thank you for covering this. We have lost enough and land due to wildfires to fill the state of Delaware or Rhode Island." So thank you so much. No problem. Okay.
Yeah, put in perspective, Delaware is about like I think it's like 2,149 square miles, something like that, and Rhode Island is like 1,000 something square miles. Just to put in perspective how big that is, or maybe for a West Coast perspective, Rhode Island and Yosemite National Park are almost very similar in size. So just picture an entire Yosemite National Park on fire. That's quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. The Weather Dude and Jonesrmj are here to give you the latest updates on Hurricane Laura here, and you can see that Thursday morning, well inland, as you can see, well north of Lake Charles, well north of Houston, and still a moderate, a strong Category 1 hurricane, still a tropical storm as it enters Arkansas, still a well-sustained tropical depression, even as it heads through Kentucky, through West Virginia, and the European model said that we could still see a tropical storm even beyond Arkansas. So that's just downright amazing.
Yeah. And just as a reminder, guys, this is a Q&A. I noticed that some people are asking us questions, but keep in mind, it doesn't have to just be about weather. It can be anything. This is like this is a 1,000 subscriber special, so you can ask us any questions that you want as we cover the hurricane.
Yep. So you can ask me questions about like how my journey was getting to 1,000 subscribers. You can really ask us anything, like YouTube or weather related. It's perfectly fine as well. And I just refreshed, and this what you're looking at now is the Hurricane Hunter, and they've been flying through the storm, and they have been finding. They have actually found, believe it or not, they have found some winds upwards of 130 knots, which is all right, well into Category 4 status here. All right, so that is definitely going to be that is very dangerous for development. All right, so again, 950 millibars of pressure. All right, so and actually the latest National Hurricane Center update had 953 millibars of pressure. So 130 knots. Just imagine that the storm has 140-mile-per-hour winds right now. So 130 knots, all right, is like 150 miles an hour. So we could be seeing an upgrade to 150 miles an hour in the next 8 o'clock or 5 o'clock update, which actually comes in 20 minutes. All right. So they made their first pass initially. So you can see the Hurricane Hunters. They kind of flew through this way, made a loop, and it came back around this way. And hopefully they might do a third pass through the storm to get some more information. All right.
And here we go. We have some aircraft observations as well. So we can see
the Hurricane Hunters, yep.
So we can see the MSLP and the flight level winds. And as you can see, the MSLP is the red lines, the flight level winds are the blue lines. And as you can see, as they move closer in the storm, we can see the lines drop to all-time lows in terms of pressure. So as you see, the hurricane definitely has some pretty low pressure. How would you say that compares to other hurricanes, the weather do?
Pretty much the same. And the reason the flight level winds drop so much is because this is actually the point in time at 2 o'clock, about 2:15 or 2:30 is when they actually flew into the eye of the storm. So that's why the winds dropped so much, and then they went back up.
Oh, right. So Harrison Mitchell, is that how you pronounce it?
Mitchell, yeah.
Mitchell. Harrison Mitchell, he asked, do you have a Nintendo Switch or play Nintendo Switch or just a Wii, or do you have a Nintendo?
That would be a question directed towards you, actually.
Yeah, because the weather dude has a Wii, but I'm the one that does more like gaming and stuff. Jonesrmj, I do own a Nintendo Switch, I do own a Nintendo Wii, and I do own a Nintendo 3DS, and I also own a Nintendo DS Lite. The DS Lite was actually my very first personal electronics, and I still have my DS Lite. It still works to this day and all that as well. I also have a new Nintendo 3DS, the Black Friday edition, which I got a pretty good deal on. And I do have a Nintendo Switch with the gray Joy-Cons, and I have a black Nintendo Wii. So, and I have quite a bit of games on each of them as well. And Weather Dude, you have a Wii, right?
Right.
And the Weather Dude has a couple of games on the Wii as well.
Yeah. So again, look at the MSLP, like Jonesrmj was saying. They actually, even though in the aircraft recon when they flew through the storm, they found 950. I actually think when you look at the graphic here, they actually found. Let me refresh it a little bit. They actually did find pressure lower than that. So let's take a look here. So you can see the red line did get below 950. So we're talking about 947 millibars of pressure. So I think in the 5 o'clock update, which again comes at about, well, it's 20 minutes, but they released it a few minutes before 5 o'clock, so it may be maybe 18 or 17 minutes. But as you can see, as they've been flying through the storm more, they got to make one more pass, I think, or two more passes. And they have been starting to find winds of around 120 knots, which 120 knots, I believe, is 140 miles per hour. So, yes, exactly 140, 138 to be exact, right? So, and that's just about how strong the storm is now.
Oh, and by the way, Harrison Mitchell says, wow, he has all of them too. LOL, he loves Nintendo. Well, I love Nintendo too. And, like, not to, like, toot my horn and stuff, but I do lots of content. I mean, I cover lots of topics on my channel, but gaming is one of the things I have been covering. I've actually started a new series on Super Mario Galaxy. I also have one on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Kart Wii, and a couple other games as well. So, if you are interested in that stuff, link to my channels, scroll up a little bit in the live chat if you want to check it out. But anyway, back to the weather, dude.
Yep. So, actually, this reminds me. Let's go actually take a look. Let's go dive in and take a look at some more tornado warnings here. See if we got any more updates. Here's the live radar here. Let me actually make sure tornado warnings are enabled warnings. Here we go. All right. So hopefully we should be starting to see the warnings come in now. Here we go. All right. So, Jonesrmj, if you want to read this, I believe, let's go to the tornado warning.
Real quick before I read it, a couple more comments. Robert Stewart says he's on Radar Omega watching all the spires. He says he hopes they stay all safe, not worth losing your life for video and warnings. Well, I mean, that is subjective, but that is definitely a good point. I would don't have the guts to do that. I would be. I mean, if I was in a bubble and I would be curious to visit storms if I could be in a bubble and be like 100% protected and not feel the effects, but just watch them like around me. Like that would be cool. But yeah, those guys have some serious guts. I could never do that. So kudos to them. And as a result, they're going to be giving us some amazing footage and some amazing tracking and stuff. So. And then he says he also needs to start gaming again. Good idea. Okay, so anyway, as you can see, we're looking at the tornado warnings for the South Central Rapids Parish in Central Louisiana, the Northern Evangeline Parish in Central Louisiana, and Southwestern Avalese or something like that Parish in Central Louisiana. And then as you can see, at 3:27 p.m. in Central Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Turkey Creek, moving northwest at 40 miles an hour. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a tornado warning going on down there. They also say if we
in this region right here, by the way, in case you guys are wondering.
Yeah, so that region right there, and then as you can see, if we scroll down here with the little warnings right here, you can see. Flying debris could be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged and destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. And tree damage is, of course, very likely. So, as always, you definitely should be seeking shelter if you are in that area. You shouldn't be driving around. You should be safe in your house, and hopefully you have a basement or somewhere safe. If you don't have a basement, there's a lot of myths going around about what's exactly the safest place to go. But I believe if you have like one of those like older style bathtubs that's made out of like ceramic or something like that, that's a pretty safe place to hide, or pretty much just a centrally located place in your house without windows is usually the safest place to hide if you do not have a basement. So, and Robert Stewart says he's a veteran tornado chaser for early 2000s, so that's pretty cool to know.
Good job. All right. So again, take a look at this tornado. The storm they're referring to actually looks like a little hook. It's actually right down here. Okay, and it's actually kind of like a line storm. Okay, this is like the outer bands of Laura. So this is related to Laura. As you can see, it will be at Glenmore at 4:45 p.m. Eastern time, which is about a couple minutes away. The storm is actually entering Glenmore, Louisiana now, which is just so you know, just southwest of Alexandria, Louisiana. Here's another tornado warning here. This is Eastern Vernon Parish in west central Louisiana. This expires at 5 p.m. Eastern, right? And looks like it's 4:37 Eastern, 3:37 Central. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornado was located over Fullerton or near Pitkin, moving northwest at 40 miles an hour. So these are all moving at 40 miles an hour. They're moving at all similar speeds because this is basically one line of storms. This is an outer band of Hurricane Laura that's producing all of this damage. So is this a tornado? Okay, now keep in mind, this is a tornado, but it's also radar indicated, which means it's not on the ground, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's likely to be. So this is radar indicated rotation. Flying debris, again, will be dangerous to those without shelter. That's actually the number one killer of tornadoes sometimes is when people...
Yeah, it's not actually the winds, it's what follow. Because believe it or not, you can actually... I saw somewhere that winds, even at 110 miles an hour, you actually can kind of stand in winds that fast. It will be hard, but you actually can.
I have a strong body.
Or strong stance.
Yep. All right, so let's take a look at another tornado warning.
Harrison Mitchell just said, has there been any confirmed tornadoes?
I'm going through a couple tornado warnings right now. I haven't seen any. Most of these are radar confirmed. Let's actually take a look at our next tornado warning here. Actually, there's two of them, so we're going to click on the top one first. All right, this is actually just outside of New Orleans. So let's
Oh,
look
wow,
on the
that,
top
that
one.
almost looks like it might be above the. Actually, no, it's a little bit. It's a little bit west of the new
Yep.
of Louis Armstrong International Airport in.
Yeah, actually, the airport, to be exact, the airport's right
Yeah,
there.
so that's not too far east. That's not too far west from the airport. So that's places
And
like.
I will be heading there soon. As you can see, the band is lifting south to north and then bending towards the west. So, Jonesrmj, if you want to read the warning.
Yeah, so as you can see, once again, another tornado warning, obviously, as the weather dude has mentioned, and it is until 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. It says the warning was released at 3:34 p.m. Central Time. It said that that time a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Gache, or something
Yeah,
like
it's hard to
that,
pronounce.
or 12 miles southwest of Avondale, moving northwest at 45 miles an hour, which is actually, do you want to draw the direction of northwest just in case the people do
Yeah,
not
no
know?
problem.
So.
Maybe kind of like in this pulling north in this direction.
So and then of course obviously just like the tornado warning, there's always a chance of flying debris and stuff, and it will be dangerous to people who are not that are not secured in shelter. So if you hear about a tornado warning or you see a tornado in your area, obviously you should be seeking shelter immediately. And we already talked earlier about safe places to do so.
Yeah. If you don't have a basement, if you don't have a storm shelter, the number one place to hide would be in an interior room, interior closet, which is not surrounded by windows. All right, and there actually is a storm. There is actually a banding feature setting up right over Lake Pontchartrain right now. So if there's someone in Louisiana right now that's standing and looking over the beautiful Lake Pontchartrain, I advise you not to do so. The storm isn't severe warned or tornado warned, but there is a storm developing over Lake Pontchartrain. And this could kick up the winds and produce some surge.
Fun fact, what I do to highlight that bridge right there. See that bridge that goes
Oh,
across
yeah.
Lake? Fun fact, that is actually the longest bridge in the United States. Believe it or not, that is actually the longest bridge in the United
Wow,
States.
the entire Lake Pontchartrain. Thank you for the architectural fact there, Jones.
I don't remember exactly the mileage, but I think it's somewhere in the 30-mile long category.
Wow.
So it's not the longest bridge in the world. That title, I believe, goes to a bridge in like either Japan or China, something like that. But it's the longest bridge in the United States.
So the first tornado warning we looked at was for St. Charles Parish. The next one we're going to look at, which is pretty much actually highlighted over a very similar area, right down here. So the second tornado warning, okay, is also for St. Charles Parish. There actually might be two separate storms. So it's for the same exact areas here. Again, this one's moving a little bit faster. It's a little bit farther away from the actual center of the storm. So this band, but again, because of Laura and the way the rotation is, the band won't get too far away. So the main band shouldn't get too far east. It shouldn't cross Lake Pontchartrain. Although there are some storms that are crossing Lake Pontchartrain right now. There actually are some storms with Laura's moisture. Some other thunderstorms forming in Mississippi. Very strong storms in Alabama. Doesn't look like they're severe warned or tornado warned right now. But we're gonna come back to the radar hopefully. But let's take a look at the high resolution model now.
So as you can see, once again, you can see the little low pressure model at the
968
bottom left.
millibars.
You can see right there, that is the hurricane as it is approaching the Louisiana coast. So as you can see, you also notice there are several other pop-up storms around various places of the country, around like Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Florida, etc. And once again, just do you want to kind of highlight the path on this map just to show what that the hurricane is projected to take?
Yeah, let me just change it to black real quick.
As the weather dude highlights the path, as you can see, it basically is going to go up through Louisiana and Arkansas, then into Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, and then pass by the Maryland and Delaware coast before it heads right back out to sea. That is the current projected path. Obviously, things could change, but that is what the projected path is right now. And there is the possibility that it could regain strength when it crosses over the Delaware and Maryland coast back into the Atlantic.
We'll see about that one.
We'll see. That all depends on like different factors because it could severely weaken. It might not even make it all the way there because it could weaken as it goes over the land. But
yeah. 5 p.m. update will be coming soon in actually a few minutes, so stay tuned for that update here. And in case you don't know, you might be thinking, what is 0Z and all that? Well, actually, that's like the timestamp that Tropical Tidbits uses. So 0Z basically means 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Even though it says 0Z Thursday, it means 8 p.m. Wednesday. So this will be 9 p.m., 10, 11. And it's kind of like another timestamp we use on the weather here, in case you don't know. And going to pivotal weather here, this is the GFS model real quick. Estimated rainfall totals, 10 inches for Lake Charles in southwestern Louisiana. Here's what they're projecting. So pretty reasonable. GFS isn't really too over the top kind of a model, and I definitely do agree with that. But even 2-3 inches of rain plus, even through north central Arkansas, even through southern parts of Missouri here. And again, so those of you guys that may just now be tuning in, all right, this is a 1,000 subscriber special. Thank you guys very much. And we are doing a live Q&A with Jonesrmj here, and this is his first time doing the weather. So
Yeah, this
again,
is my
give
first
him some
time. Do you
patience.
think I'm doing a good job?
I think you're doing a great job for a first time. I think you're doing an awesome job.
And once again, if you guys want to just don't know who I am, which I'm pretty sure you guys do know by now, but I'm a good friend of the Weather Dude, and I do all sorts of topics on my channel, ranging from like tech, gaming, architecture, etc. So if any of that interests you, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. My channel is on the way to 300 subscribers, so I'd appreciate the support that you guys, especially if you would come join me on this journey. So anyway, back at looking at the wind map.
Yeah,
right
so here's
here.
the wind map. So this is from the same website we were using before. Hopefully, you guys were tuned in at that point. The next map we're going to be looking on the National Weather Service here is a storm surge threat. All right, and again, the maximum number on the graph here is 9 feet above ground, greater than 9 feet. But trust me, it's going to be a lot more than 9 feet. But I just want to highlight where the area of danger is. So for places in, let's actually zoom in so you can see locations better. So Sabine Wildlife Refuge is in there, Grand Lake, White Lake, all right, and Cameron, Louisiana, anywhere on the coast here. And notice how far inland the surge goes, okay? That's what's going to be really destructive about the storm. It's all about the location of where the storm is coming
so it's
in.
not necessarily the storm. I mean, the storm is going to be pretty bad. A category 4 storm is definitely nothing to sneeze at. But the storm surge is definitely the biggest risk, because maybe even the most well-built houses could encounter flooding, depending on how high above, depending on what elevation they are, where they're located, how the levees are down there. Because one of the problems with Hurricane Katrina is there were some levees in place, but they overflowed, a lot of them. So because they weren't big enough for the massive storm that approached. So
yeah. So take a look at Beaumont and Port Arthur. The red shades where you can see more than 6 feet of storm surge, even for Beaumont and Port Arthur. If we take a look towards Texas, focusing on Texas a little bit, even Galveston, well, it depends. Downtown Galveston, it points just here south of the west. You can see greater than anywhere from like 3 to 6 feet of surge from this National Weather Service map. But on the north side and northeast side of Galveston, we could be seeing 6 to 9 feet of surge potentially. And I just want you guys to visualize that. I know we're used to seeing a few feet of surge from a tropical storm, but just imagine 20 feet of water coming in from the ocean. That's what we could be seeing here. Anywhere shaded in purple could be seeing more than 10 feet of surge. So Harrison Mitchell says, so high tide is when storm hits that. Yeah, so again, sadly, the high tide, the storm will be making landfall around high tide, which is very bad news.
And what's funny is high tide is actually a little bit sooner than when low tide normally would be, because high tide isn't high tide normally like in the evening?
Well, it shifts. It
depends on.
Day to
it also
day.
depends on like where.
It's all about the moon. Yeah, I'm not too much of an expert, but
I know that isn't low tide is usually around like afternoonish, right?
Yeah, in this case it is, but. Yep. All right, so take a look. We looked at wind and surge for this particular map. Now take a look at the flooding rain threat. And this isn't just going to be a coastal threat. This will be extending well inland here. So,
in fact, as you can see, all the way as far north as even most northern parts of Arkansas. So that includes like Little Rock, even Fayetteville could see some rain. And
I should just refresh this real quick. Very sorry. I think we're having a little issue here. Let's go to here. All right, here we go. So take it away.
So as you can see, once again, obviously it's mostly the western Louisiana coast as well as the very eastern Texas coast, to like where Galveston is and all that. But basically from there all the way up north to like northern parts of Arkansas, like Little Rock, even maybe parts of eastern Fayetteville might see some rain, and also even parts of Tennessee, so like north of Memphis could see some, and maybe even Jackson, Tennessee as well, could all be seeing potential for major flooding rain. That's just due to, as the weather dude said before, about the speed that this hurricane is traveling at. The speed that it could be traveling inland could definitely bring a lot of damage in, because the faster a hurricane goes, I mean, hurricanes weaken at about the same pace, right? The weather dude said.
It depends on the storm. It depends on the shear and the dry area. It all depends on the environment.
But moving faster definitely means that even if it were to weaken at the same rate as a hurricane that wasn't moving as fast, it's obviously going to do more damage inland because of how fast it's going.
It gives it less of a chance to weaken. Right?
And then, of course, places like New Orleans and Baton Rouge have the potential for moderate flooding, and same thing for
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, and also Houston and parts of eastern Texas and western Mississippi, like Jackson, Gulfport, Biloxi, and I can't see what the name of that town is up there. But,
which one?
Right there.
We talk about Mississippi?
Yeah. That,
right.
I can't see that town there.
I can't really zoom in. Hattiesburg as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
And also, so yeah, basically.
Starkville.
So as you can see, basically large portions of Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, eastern Texas, and even Tennessee could all see potential for anywhere from localized flooding to major flooding.
All right, and again, anywhere in the orange and red is where you really have to watch out, because moderate to major flooding rain is a big issue. Harrison says, my grandparents evacuated from Louisiana yesterday, now in shelter. He lives in Orlando with mom and stepdad. Well, actually, Harrison Mitchell, that's a very smart move. I'm very glad your grandparents evacuated from Louisiana because if they stayed, I got news for you, it wouldn't have been very pretty because the Louisiana, all right, is going to see. I mean, the entire state, all right, the entire state of Louisiana, especially central western portions, but the entire state has a chance to see
And also,
impacts.
just in general, Louisiana actually is a pretty flat state in general. Because here's a little fun fact. Talking about climate change. I know you get people out there that don't believe in climate change. We personally do because I mean there's historical proof. But obviously, looking at
Opinions are acceptable.
but looking at Louisiana, Louisiana is a pretty flat state. So in the event that a little, obviously this is not going to happen in our lifetime, but in the event that all the ice in the world were to melt, or even if most of the ice in the world melted, a, a decent percentage of Louisiana would be underwater, with really the only parts
Probably
above,
this portion, like just south of here.
actually I'll highlight so that portion and even a bit of up here. So literally, Shreveport and this general area, like right here, would be
underwater?
no, this part right here would be above water. Everything like in this area would be like underwater.
Wow. Oh, sadly, a 20-foot storm surge. This storm would produce 20 feet of surge, and that could help, jumpstart what he was just
Well,
describing.
it's obviously not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
Because sea levels would rise like 250 feet if all the ice in the world were to melt, which is
Right.
and where storm storage would only be 20 feet, which is still bad. But,
Very bad,
but not
yes.
as bad as not as bad as yeah. So.
All right, so we're gonna actually again just a couple minutes, actually maybe a couple minutes before 5 is when the major update comes in. So stay tuned for that. But again, just to give you kind of a little refresher on the track. Oh, actually no, 5 p.m. update just came in now. So I can't wait to share it to you guys. So share this video with your friends. Tell them that we got the 5 o'clock update now, and tell them to tune in here to the Weather Dude as we take a look at the 5 p.m. update. So what changed? Storm 145 mile per hour winds moving northwest at 15 miles an hour, so moving at the same pace it always was. Except tropical storm force winds, indicated by the orange cone, have now arrived at the south central Louisiana coastline.
So as you can see, Louisiana coastline, if you haven't evacuated, you probably are now going to start experiencing some decent wind speeds, and that's
At
only
least
going to
40, 50 miles an hour.
and that is going to be definitely going to be at least in the hundreds, maybe. But
later on, yes.
yeah, later on as the storm approaches into the Louisiana coast.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the storm hurricane wind field is pretty big, but the tropical storm force wind field is absolutely huge. All right, I mean, it goes from eastern Texas all the way to eastern Louisiana, so it's a pretty big wind field. Wind probabilities, the wind probabilities have actually went down. So it looks like now this could change yet again, but I'm talking about for the east coast of the United States, the wind probabilities have gone down. But I mean, still, we know what's going to happen here with the winds in Louisiana, eastern Texas, up to 100% chance to see tropical storm force winds of at least 40 miles an hour. But we know they're going to be a heck of a lot more than that. The hurricane force wind probabilities are also near 100%. For western Louisiana, where the storm is likely to come on shore. All right, we're updating all the National Hurricane Center maps here. Looks like the storm surge, as I'm refreshing here, hasn't changed. This is from the 11 o'clock advisory. We might see in a couple minutes if they might change that. They might not. And let's take a look now at the rainfall. Again, rainfall, they have actually added another layer. So luckily, this is off the coast, but now they're projecting 15 to 20 inches of rainfall. But luckily, that pink area is off the coast for now. We'll see if it moves inland in another update. But looks like the rainfall has gone up. And the red area has also expanded farther inland. So if you want to take away from here, Jonesrmj, you want to describe this again?
As you can see, once again, basically the exact same areas, but now just a little bit even more north into maybe some other counties in Louisiana and Texas that could see some more extreme rainfall. But as you can see, the map, for the most part, is also pretty similar. Actually, now I'm looking at it, it looks like the rainfall up in the Northeast has downgraded a bit. Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Delaware has 0 rainfall in this map. Pennsylvania has a little bit, but it's dramatically downscaled in Maryland and Virginia. So it looks like maybe the prediction is that it might not be able to make it all the way to the East Coast up there.
Yeah, and let me just get to what Jonesrmj was saying. If we get to the let's actually open up the map, the other map here, like the tracking map. This will tell you exactly how strong the storm is, not just if it's a tropical storm, but it'll tell you exactly how strong it is. And let's actually zoom in closer. So this is predicted now to make a landfall. Look, just like I said, didn't I tell you this, guys? 150 mile per hour winds with winds gusting to 185 miles an hour. So expect storm surge values to go way up here, maybe up to 22, 23 feet. We'll see. So I mean that is remarkable. 185 mile per hour winds. The only good news that I saw for a place like Little Rock, as Jonesrmj was describing earlier, is that they've been downgraded from 6 to 10 inches of rain to 4 to 6, which is still a lot. That's kind of like what we got, what Delaware experienced from Tropical Storm Isaias, which I did do a coverage video for as well.
We actually had, like, for those guys wondering how I mean, obviously, because Delaware, just for those of you guys who do not know, is this state right here. This is where the this is where the weather dude and I, this is the state where the weather dude and I are, and basically in our state we
You're taking away the...
Yeah, taking away. But basically in our state up here, we obviously we don't get much hurricanes, because usually when most hurricanes usually reach like the Carolinas, so when they usually get to like about here, they usually weaken to the point where they don't really affect us that much. But obviously, like in the case of Sandy obviously made it. Sandy obviously made it all the way back to New York as well. So Sandy basically went like, if I remember correctly, went like on a tour, but it basically went like, well, I guess to use the highlight, basically went like all the way up here or something, something along those lines. But
yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that storm was quite a bit of time ago, so I don't remember exactly what it looked like. But
8 years ago, yep. Coming up on 8 years now. Yep. So, again, so we add another layer of rainfall. Luckily, the 15 to 20 inches of rain, for now, is forecast to stay offshore. But looking at Little Rock, when it reaches Little Rock, could still be a tropical storm with winds gusting close to 15 miles an hour. But it looks like now, as it moves through Kentucky, tropical depression will become a post-tropical depression through Virginia here. And then maybe redevelop into a tropical storm once it gets to Halifax, but that's way beyond there. But it looks like this will be checking through the Mid-Atlantic, so some hopefully we'll be able to cover later. Actually, let's go back to the aircraft reconnaissance and see if they flew through another time. And you can see right here, 947 millibars of pressure is what they're finding here. And the data that the hurricane hunters are collecting is all getting fed into the 5 o'clock p.m. major update. So yes, that's exactly what the Hurricane Center is telling us, 947 millibars of pressure. And to some of you that don't know, the lower that number of millibar pressure is, the stronger the winds typically are.
Yes.
All right, so looks like when they made the third pass, it doesn't look like they picked up the similar amount of winds as before, but again, it did go up a little bit, like I was telling you guys.
I wonder what airport they're actually flying out of, because it looks like they might be flying out of somewhere in New Orleans, because if they're going like down and then making
they might have.
So.
One of the flights actually flew from Tampa one time as well.
Oh, really? That's a decently far flight.
So here's the MSLP, and we could even see even more strengthening with the 8 p.m. intermediate update, not the major update that comes at 11 o'clock, because the MSLP has dropped. They've actually found MSLP of 942 millibars, 943. So maybe the storm is getting even stronger now. All right. So again, this is a live Q&A. So if you guys want to ask questions, do weather questions in the chat or ask us questions about our subscriber journeys. Feel free to do that as well.
Okay. So yeah, guys. All
right. So here we go. Just retrieving the latest maps for you guys here, and let's give this a little refresher. And see if we got some more updates. So from the Weather Channel, this was taken at 4:50 Eastern, so just about 10 minutes ago. Hopefully you are watching us live here. Yeah, so as you can see, Lake Charles, we're starting to see gusts of 28 miles an hour. They could be a little bit more than that. Huma is 35 mile an hour gusts now. And it looks like Galveston 18 mile per hour wind here. All right, so let's take a look. Actually, let's see if we get the latest satellite imagery here. Let's get us one more refresher just to get a look at that. Look at the eye, Jonesrmj. You can see the eye has actually grown even more now.
Yeah, it looks that does look noticeably bigger than I remember last time we were checking out this map. And as you can see, once again, if you want to draw the path, once again, you can...
Well, I'm a little bit too far zoomed in to do that. I'll go to another map and do that, actually.
All right, but as you can see... Well, that map's a little bit too far zoomed out. But you can see there's the path once again right there that is still projected to take. But as you can see, it looks like... It doesn't look like it's going to be as strong anymore going overland when you're looking at that path before, but it still looks like Louisiana, Texas, and all those.
It's still going to be quite strong in landfall, yep.
So, yeah, so it looks like the storm is starting to grow as it approaches the Louisiana coastline. At least the eye of the storm grew a bit, according to these maps.
And something to notice here, we're seeing blossoming thunderstorms occurring over land here. Let me actually, I thought I could change. Well, let me draw towards the center of the storm because I changed my font color to green. You can see, look at the building convection. The darker reds and the grays and the blacks, by the way, Jonesrmj, that is actually deeper convection, more thunderstorms developing around it. And it's only getting more and more organized and stronger, I should say, because it's sitting over very warm waters. Talk about waters of 30 degrees Celsius, which I believe is pretty close to 90. It's about 88 or so degrees Fahrenheit.
Do you want me to look up the actual conversion?
yeah, if you want to. I believe it's somewhere closer to 90. And while he's doing that, you could just look at, let me zoom out a little bit here so you guys can get a little bit better of a picture.
How much Celsius did you say was again?
30. 30, yeah, 86. Yeah,
86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so you can see the outflow boundaries, okay, coming out of the storm here, all right, on the east are just downright amazing. And Harrison Mitchell says he thinks that I think the storm at 8 p.m. might be 155 or 150. In case you actually haven't found out, the storm is actually does now have 145-mile-per-hour winds, and landfall is projected at 150. So at the 8 p.m. update, it could be 150. I was actually just saying that earlier. I think it's a possibility, right? But again, taking a look at the cyclonic vorticity, you can see nothing really has changed here. You can see where the storm is, and where the center rotation is. We're actually gonna briefly jump back to the radar and kind of take a look at. Let me actually close out of the app and open it back up again, so you can get the latest updates here, which is what we're doing here.
Alrighty, so this is looking at rainfall or
This is like the radar. I'm trying to see if there's any more tornado warnings, and we do have some more actually. If you guys remember when I was tuning into you guys earlier, remember I told you that storm, Jonesrmj, you might remember that storm that was developing over Lake Pontchartrain. Well, that has now become a tornado warning.
As you can see in I can't see
Ponchatoula. Ponchatoula and Hammond, Louisiana are now under a tornado warning. So that storm did gain a lot of strength now. So hopefully no one is standing at Lake Maurepas or Lake Pontchartrain because you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yep, and then if we actually go left a little bit to Baton Rouge, it looks like there's some more activity over there as well.
Yeah, Baton
Rouge. Baton Rouge. I don't know why I keep saying. I keep thinking like Rogue, like Nissan Rogue. But
yeah, but you get
it's
just
Rouge. Baton Rouge.
You see the storms are lifting up this way, and because of the way the storm is moving, all right. Let's see. Harrison Mitchell says a confirmed water spout just off the coast. Let's actually see if we can actually pick up on that. I don't know if it expired yet. Let's actually see if we can pick up. There is something. This is a hurricane warning here. We got tropical storm warnings down here, but there are some storms developing off the water, as you can see right here. Some very strong storms developing on the outer edge of the storm. So that's where we can see some special marine warnings, maybe some water spouts start getting kicked up here. But going back to the tornado warning off of Lake Pontchartrain here, there is actually a flood warning now. Let's actually go to that first. All right, there is a flood warning because that's the thing. Like I was saying earlier, these storms are moving in a direction like this. So the storms are moving to the same areas and it's producing a lot of rain. So Jonesrmj, if you want to read the flood warning here.
So as you can see, the flood warning, the details were starting at 8:57 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday, August 26th. So this morning, basically, as you can see, there's a flood warning for the Ammonite River at Maurepas.
Yeah, Maurepas, yeah.
Maurepas, and from this morning until further notice. So it's basically until all day. There's no set time that this warning ends. It basically just ends until further notice, obviously, because we don't know like every little bit of detail that the hurricane's going to do because we can't read its mind. But
we have a good idea.
Yeah, we have the best idea we can from with the technology we've got. So as you can see, flood stage is at 4 feet.
Yeah, and flood stage is 4 feet, so it just broke flood stage because the flood warning just now came out.
So as you can see, we've got minor flooding is occurring, and recent activity, the maximum river stage is in the 24 hours ending. So
yeah, 24 hours ending at 8 a.m. Wednesday was 4 feet. So it looks like this river here just now broke flood stage. So definitely, if you live by the Ammonite River at Maurepas and just southwest of Ponchatoula, northwest of New Orleans, you definitely need to definitely gotta get to the you gotta get to the highest floor you've got. All right.
I mean, actually, you know what would be a good idea is why don't we look up traffic just to see how the traffic.
Yeah, let's actually see how the
traffic.
So
go ahead and I'll show you how to do that. So go ahead and open a tab of Google Maps. So just maps.google.com, and then make sure you enable traffic in the little sidebar. So.
Is it down here?
Go ahead. We'll go ahead and probably zoom in right now. We're not zoomed in on the right area.
Let's zoom in on Louisiana here.
So just search Louisiana if you want. Or you can zoom out.
Right,
wow! It looks like they actually made the map a little more detailed in Google Maps. That's pretty cool. So
yeah. So exactly. Let's see. Right around. I believe the area was like Maurepas. So let's go to. Let's see Maurepas, Louisiana. Yeah. Let's see if we can find some traffic for you guys.
All right, and then let's go ahead and go into here and let's turn on traffic. Let's take a look at.
Traffic is actually slowing down right at Maurepas.
So
you can see some oranges and reds here.
Yeah, well, we need to zoom out. That's the Louisiana State 22. So let's go ahead and zoom out a bit. And as you can see, we got some red lines off of Interstate 12 in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge. Why do I keep saying that? But as you can see, surprisingly, it looks like traffic on some of the interstates actually seems to be pretty clear. From a broad
perspective, looks good.
But let's go ahead and zoom in a bit more.
On Baton Rouge.
As you can see, Baton Rouge, there's a lot of traffic right here, as you can see in this general area, like right here.
Actually, you'll make the font color black. That might be easier for them to see.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier to see black.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is very bad because traffic should not be backed up right now. You guys should, in Baton Rouge, in Westminster, all right, in the surrounding suburbs of Baton Rouge. You guys should, whoever's on the road should definitely be in the shelter. Either if you happen to stay home, which is not a good idea in my opinion, whether you're staying home or evacuated, you should already have been evacuated, hopefully. And if you are staying, hopefully you should have had your preparations done already.
Right, and actually, go ahead and zoom out. Go ahead and zoom out a bit. Let's check traffic in some areas closer to where the center of the hurricane will hit. So,
all right, so
let's look at Houston. And oh wow, at least the interstate. You might have to zoom in to see some of the rest of the smaller roads.
Yeah,
but
let's visit Houston real quick. It's a little far from the storm center, but let's go see Houston. Houston, not too bad right now. We have some moderate traffic. We have some construction going on south side of town. All right, but the reason we're giving you a traffic report. It's just to see how people are responding. Hopefully, people in that same shelter.
Just actually to put things in perspective. So what is the name of the city again? We're in Louisiana, where the
flood warning.
No, where the actually we'll do the flood warning first. So let's actually
Marpass.
So just to show you guys maybe some directions as it would be to get to higher ground. What do you think's a good city to put in for like
You mean like evacuate to?
Yeah. So if we go ahead and
Well, there's really you should evacuate eastward. It's actually the best option.
So if we were to go eastward, what do you think would be a safe city to evacuate to?
I would say Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, so if we go ahead and put in Pensacola, and obviously we don't want flights, we want driving. So as you can see, about Google Maps estimates about 3 hours and 31 minutes of driving to evacuation. So it definitely seems like if you guys are still in the flooding area, you still can evacuate in a reasonable amount of time. And why don't we check out?
You have to hurry up.
Well, instead of changing the high school now, go ahead and put in the area where the eye of the storm is, like where the center, most of the. I feel like
landfall?
Yeah, like where it's gonna make landfall. Which, isn't it like Lake Charles or something like that?
Yeah, it's near Lake Charles. But
go ahead and click back to directions. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry that.
So and then change this to Lake Charles.
Yeah, actually, let's do Abbeville. Abbeville, Alabama to Pensacola would probably take you about.
That's
2
Alabama.
Huh?
You did Alabama,
Oh,
Louisiana.
Sorry, guys. So Abbeville, Louisiana. Looks like 5 hours and 10 minutes. So. Hopefully, you guys. I mean, what we're trying to tell you is how long it takes to evacuate. But hopefully, you guys are evacuated already. And again, to those of you who may just be tuning in, we have the 5 p.m. update here from the National Hurricane Center, and it looks like we will be tapering off our coverage in a few minutes. So, if you guys have any last-minute questions, some Q&A questions, some weather questions, anything, just be sure to put in the chat real quick, and we'll be responding here in the last few minutes. We thank you guys have been staying tuned. Hopefully, you guys are watching the entire
and also,
stream.
by the way, if you guys are watching this stream after we finish it, you can also ask us questions in the comments, and we will both do our best to respond to any extra questions you guys may ask us in the comments.
Yep. So for the last 5 minutes or so, Jonesrmj and I are gonna go through the maps one more time here. So again, most likely making landfall is a major hurricane. 185 mile per hour gusts with 150 mile per hour sustained winds as the latest 5 o'clock update here. Look at the aircraft reconnaissance. Latest update. I think they might actually be leaving the storm. They might make one more pass. We'll see. All right, but if you want to actually look at the satellite one more time.
Yep. So as you can see, once again, the hurricane, the eye of the storm, it looks like it's about the same size as it was showing before.
Let's actually refresh it. We may need to refresh it.
Still looks about the same size to me, but same general path heading into the Lake Charles area in Louisiana, with places east, places as far east as as far west as Galveston, and as far east as the Mississippi and Alabama coast could be seen rainfall. As you can see at the 28 degrees north
latitude. Yeah, it's just the center of the eye is literally right on 28 north latitude. So, and it looks like at 3 hours ago, it was at maybe say 27.5 or so. So Harrison Mitchell says that eye is looking better defined, and I definitely agree with that. This eye looks very well defined. That's very dangerous. Okay, the storm, like I said in my last coverage video, Florence went through an eye wall replacement cycle. This doesn't look like it went through that at all. This storm just strengthened. It really never weakened. All right, once it became a hurricane, it just kept on strengthening here. All right, and it looks like we're going to be tapering off here. So thank you guys for watching. Anyone some last minute sign off?
Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. I had a lot of fun. Do you think I did a good job?
For the first time, I think you did a very good job. You could be a professional one day.
maybe not. I think computers, technology, and architecture and gaming is kind of more of my strength.
Hey, whatever you want to do.
But yeah, I mean. But you could definitely be, probably be a great meteorologist as well. So I do have to say, bro, you made for 1,000 subscribers. The little dude started his channel back in August 24th of 2017, and his first upload was in, late
Election Day of 2018, as a matter of fact.
Oh, it's very funny. And speaking of Election Day, that's actually coming up soon. So whether we have Donald Trump or Biden again, we'll see soon. But Yeah, guys, once again, thank you very much for watching. Just as a recap, my channel, I cover gaming, architecture, tech, and more. So if you enjoy any of those things, please go ahead and check out my channel and subscribe. The Weather Dude left a comment with the link of my channel, as well as up in the live chat as well. So
again,
I really would appreciate if you'd subscribe. We're on the way to 300 subscribers on my channel, so I'd love it if you join this journey with me. And yeah, so it was a lot of fun, the Weather Dude. Once again, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers, and handing it back to you. See you guys.
I'm the Weather Dude, signing off till next time. And if you guys please check out, I did a first snowfall forecast. And my winter forecast got a couple thousand views, and I'm very proud. So if you guys want to check out my first snowfall forecast, I did have that on my channel as well. If you want to check that out, please consider checking it out. And I'm the Weather Dude, signing off till next time. I'll catch you guys in the next video.